Good day, everyone. So, for the continuation of our report, I am Reyles Macabenta, and I will be discussing the technological aided arts. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, what is the technological aided arts? In today's globalized world, there are countless technological inventions and gadgets that have affected the making of artworks. For example, photographs in the past which could only be taken with a camera and viewed in a photographic paper. But now it may be done with cell phones and computers simultaneously. So in this lesson, we will be discussing the new forms of today's visual art. So let's have first the photography. So photography is a form of art that requires a camera as its basic tool. So the camera has a long history from the invention of the daguerreotype of camera by Louis Daguerre in 1839 to the introduction of commercially of Eastman's Kodak camera 49 years later, as well as to the entry of the 35 millimeter film Leica camera in 1925. So since then, people relied on a camera to record not only significant events of their lives, but even ordinary day-to-day affairs. So, a photograph is a two-dimensional representation of people, events, objects, or any three-dimensional form. It is an art of recording images through a camera with the use of film and printing them on a photographic paper through chemical process. So, as we all know na compare before nung the taas kay ang process on how we get a photograph or a picture, 'di ba? Dati kailangan pa nato idalon sa usa ka camera hub or kanang nag-ano sa og ka ng mga pictures just to print our pictures compare now we have our cell phones na it's clear na compare sa ato ang mga cell phones dati. So we only use cell phones now to take pictures or to take pictures of ourselves, of our significant events of our lives, or it depends on how on sa atong picturean. So now I will be discussing the types of photograph. There are five types of photograph, but I will only discuss uh, the two, and the rest, Miss Makaraig will discuss about it. So let's discuss the advertising photography. So advertising photography is illustrates a series of product. So these images are generally done with an advertising agency, design firm, or with an in-house corporate design team. So in this photography, so it persuades you to purchase something that you don't really need it, or it works by putting products or goods or services in front of an audience and then convincing them to be interested. So with most advertising campaigns, so photography is the most important element. So the images is what will grab the attention of the consumer. So whether it is in a magazine, on a billboard, or on a website. So advertising photography also will um, works to help a company establish their brand, or they will or to help them rebrand a company. So the photographer the photograph needs to do more than just simply represents a product or brand. So it needs to evoke emotion and desire, and because of consumers are bombarded with advertising images, only the best will get noticed by the consumer. So I have here an example of advertising photography kung unsaon nila kanang gikuha ang mga nindot na shots sa usa ka product. So isa ni siya ka Pepsi product. So let's watch the video. So as what we have observed in the video no nga, there are lots of equipments nga giuse sa cameraman just to get this shot na ato nakita karon, no. So they really work hard, they really step up their creativity to really get a good shot. So ing ana ang mga advertising photography no nga dili lang jud ang product itself ang ilahang picturean nga kanang ibutang lang ang kuan dira ang product and picturean. So no, they really step up their creativity, they really level up their creativity para makakuha og good shot like this. So that was the advertising photography. So without further ado, let's also proceed to the editorial photography. So, editorial photography illustrates a story or idea within the context of a magazine. So, these are usually assigned by the magazine. So, with editorial photography is a type of photography as what I have read kanina no nga it really aims to tell a story or portray a concept. So editorial photography is commonly found in magazine, newspaper, editorial features, and journalism. Unlike sa other nga photography, editorial photography relies much more on story than it does on a brand. So wala sila kaayoy paki sa brand nga wala sila paki sa brand but they really they napasimas na sila paki sa story sa usa ka picture. So the motive, therefore, is not to sell, but rather express, engage, educate, and spread awareness. So that was the editorial photography. So editorial editorial photography images are more than just pretty pictures. So they often depict the grittiness of real life. So just like what you have nakita sa ato ang picture sa ato ang screen, a picture of a family nga naglukdo, nagdala og banana. So it's their part of it's their living, it's their real life, and that was their gani ka ng work that was their their real life, their source of living. So that was editorial photography. Editorial photographs document real places and events, but they can use those images to illustrate broader stories, as this image might strengthen a story about Luneta Park. So kung makita nimo niya nga picture, it really it tells a story nga di lang jud kay it nga isa lang siya ka park nga gibuhat dira, but daghan pa siya og mga kanang story about it kung ato siya i-istoryahan. So that was the editorial photography, and that's also ako ang report, and Miss Makareeg will continue. Thank you for listening. Thank you.